Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at installing the CURT Trailer Hitch receiver on a 2020 Dodge Durango. Now this is what your hitch is going to look like when it's installed on your Durango, and it is an exposed cross tube, so you are going to see this portion kind of hanging down with the receiver tube opening, but it is a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, and that is really good because it's kind of the standard size for a bunch of different accessories. So whether you're looking at bike racks, cargo carriers, or ball mounts, you're going to have tons of options. Now all of your accessories are going to stay in place with a 5/8 pin and clip. Now this is not included with the hitch. A lot of your accessories will come with one when you pick those up, but if you want to pick up an extra or a locking version, we have plenty of options available here at eTrailer. It's really nice for those locking ones because you can leave the accessories on, lock it in place, and know that they're not going to disappear in the hands of someone else. There's a plate style safety chain loop, so if you plan on pulling a trailer, a standard S-style hook will work just fine. Even a larger clevis style will be able to go on there with no problem. Now speaking of towing, this has some pretty decent weight capacities. Your gross trailer weight rating is going to be 6,000 pounds, which is going to be the weight of the trailer plus the accessories loaded onto it. You also have a tongue weight rating, which is going to be the downward pressure that's put on the receiver tube opening at 600 pounds. Now this can be used with a weight distribution hitch, which is going to bump those numbers up. You're going to have 7,500 pounds for your gross trailer weight rating and 750 pounds for your tongue weight rating. But before hooking up to a trailer, you want to check your vehicle's owner's manual to see what the vehicle is capable of towing, and then compare those numbers with the hitch and take the lower of those two just so you stay safe. Now when choosing accessories, if you're getting a folding cargo carrier or bike rack, you want to make sure that you have clearance from your rear fascia. So from the center of the hitch pin hole to the furthest point of the rear fascia, we're looking at about 4 inches, which should give you plenty of room to fold those up. Now keep in mind, you may not be able to open up your hatch with those folded, but just something to keep in mind. Now also, if you plan on towing a trailer, you want to make sure that you have the right ball mount. So from the top of the receiver tube opening to the ground is going to be 14 inches. So if you measure the coupler on your trailer and compare that with the numbers of your ground clearance, you can determine if you need a rise or a drop. And as far as installation goes, you're going to be happy to find out this is a very easy one to do, especially in your driveway or garage. You're going to be lowering down your spare tire to give you a little bit of clearance, but there's going to be some factory nuts into weld nuts on the frame. So you just simply take those out, lift the hitch up, put those in, torque them down, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to walk you through all those steps to make sure you get your hitch installed. Our installation is going to begin by lowering down the spare tire, and that's just going to give us more room to get the hitch up in place. And if you've never done this on your Durango, it's pretty easy. You're just going to open up the back here, and there's going to be this storage compartment. So we'll push this down, raise it up, and there should be an underbody, or this little cover here. You can just lift that up, and you'll see that there's this little cap. It's got a tire tread on it, so you can pry that up. And you'll see there's just kind of a square hex there, or a square little bolt here, and that's in order for us to lower it down. Now, to make it a little bit easier, we're going to use the tool kit that we have here for our spare tire, and that way we can get this lower down and out of the way. Now you don't have to completely remove your spare tire. They have kind of a cap that goes into the lug nuts. So it kind of seems like it's a little bit more difficult than we need to do. Basically with this down, this opens it up for us to gain access to our hardware that's going to bolt up our hitch. So there's going to be these factory nuts here, and we're going to just remove the 2 on each side, and a 13/16 socket is going to accomplish that. So go ahead and we'll get these all loosened up and taken off. And we're going to be using these for the installation of the hitch, so don't throw them too far away because you're going to need this to bolt your hitch up. Now with those taken out, we do want to make sure that our hitch is going to fit in here properly, and you'll see that they do have some caulk here that they put in the seams, and just to make sure that it sits nice and flush, I'm going to go ahead and scrape this back. I'm going to be using a putty knife just to kind of peel this, and that way the edge of that metal on the hitch is going to be able to sit properly on the chassis. Now I have Dustin here to help me put this in place. So we're going to go ahead, raise this up. It might get a little bit tight on the plastic where the spare tire was. So just kind of make sure that it fits in there, and then we'll get it raised up right at the holes of the frame. And with your hardware in hand, get it started on one of them on each side, and that way it's going to support the hitch for us to put the rest of the hardware in. Now, if it does kind of get tight in between the frame rails, you can use a dead blow hammer to kind of knock it up until you get those holes aligned. And if you don't have a dead blow, you can use a block of wood and a regular hammer, but this is going to kind of help push it in place. So we'll go ahead and get all of our hardware tightened down. We don't have to get too crazy here because we're going to come back with our torque wrench to make sure that it's properly torqued. Coming back with our torque wrench, the torque settings are going to be found in the instruction manual, and if you need a torque wrench, we have them available here at eTrailer. You can generally go to an auto parts store and rent one for free, and we're just going to go through and properly torque these down, and it's going to make sure that they're going to be tight enough for the lifespan of the hitch, but also not too tight, putting stress on the threads and the weld nuts. Go through, torque down the rest of our hardware. We'll get our spare tire raised back up, and that's really going to do it for the installation of this hitch. And that was a look and installation of the CURT Trailer Hitch receiver on a 2020 Dodge Durango.